Hey everyone, welcome to today's show of the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy live podcast recording. Let me go ahead and add what we're going to be talking about today. Should I keep investing in marketing right now? So, welcome. I'm Ashley Conway. I'm the founder of Be Weird Marketing. We're a company that helps Christian CEOs stand out from their competition, attract their best customers, and grow their businesses. I'm the host of the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy podcast. I have 20 plus years of marketing and copywriting experience working with businesses of all sizes, from startups to multi-million dollar companies. I am married with 2 girls, and today's fun fact is that I'm currently doing an 1,000-piece puzzle of the 90s. Very slowly, though. Free time is not plentiful in this season of life. All right, so let's get on to what we're talking about, what we're discussing today. Should I keep investing in marketing right now? And I mean that from an economic perspective, right? So I've seen clients ask this question throughout the years that I've been working. I've seen it. I've heard this question in 2008 when it was the recession and, businesses were, hesitant and questioning what's going to happen. I've seen it during the pandemic. How's this going to affect our business? And now I'm seeing it again with the current tariffs of this year. How is this going to affect our business, both from a supply perspective with the resources that we're getting that are from other countries, and from a customer perspective, like what about our leads? Are they going to slow down or be impacted just by this climate that we're in? And I do have some clients over the years who have cut back on their marketing, and they always do it out of anticipation of what could happen. So it's not that anything has affected their business yet, but they're seeing their business could be effective, so they preemptively make some changes. And this is usually some of the things that they start seeing. Leads are slowing down. They're not getting quite the amount of leads that they usually do. Their audience, their potential customer, is more hesitant to buy. There can be, and there's a lot of this now, economics are fueling fear. Or the business owner just wants to wait it out and see what happens before continuing to pour more money into their marketing. So, but this is the problem. Here, there are consequences to going dark, to totally scaling back your marketing in certain areas, to not getting on certain platforms at all. Your audience is going to question your stability. We have the opportunity as business owners during uncertain seasons to show that we are not going anywhere. No matter what happens, we will pivot, we will make changes, we will still be around. So if there's a business that just goes dark for a long period of time, you start to question, are they still in business? Why did they go dark? What's going on behind the scenes? That type of thing. Your audience also forgets who you are. We live in a very noisy environment. There are constantly things on our to-do list. There's information flying at us. So if they are not seeing you consistently, they're just going to forget about you. It's inevitable. Also, you lose momentum. It's so much easier marketing all of it if you get a good system going. Like, I know every Thursday or Friday, usually Thursday, I am going to be here recording a new show. But I'm automatically used to doing that, and we're churning out content and we're repurposing it different ways. And I'm in this great rhythm. If you completely go dark on something, you get out of that, you lose all the momentum that you had going of what you're putting out there, and people are seeing it, and you're building and building that. It's a compounding effect, and you lose that. And then when you return, it's going to take 2 or 3 times the effort, maybe the cost, depending on what it is, to rebuild the visibility, the awareness that you lost while you were dark. So here are questions. I totally understand the urge to be really careful about your spending, to review everything closely, to consider, are there ways we could cut back? Before you do that, when it comes to marketing, let's ask some questions. And, I'm a proponent of that. Before you make any major changes or before you take any major action in your business, to stop, to give yourself some margin and to think strategically, to kind of zoom out of your business and ask some good, hard, thoughtful questions. So with marketing, that's performance. What is working right now? Don't cut out the things that are getting results for you. It's also number 2, lead generation. Are you still getting quality leads? Any at all? And where are they coming from? So this kind of loops in with performance. Don't cut the things that are bringing you leads. And then ROI, how are you spending your marketing dollars? So you should be able to see, per channel, per ads, email marketing, social, break that down into Instagram, into Facebook, into whatever you're at, and see where your spend is going to. Are you investing in the things that you can directly tie to leads coming in? If your Instagram is resulting in leads, which can be people who actually want to do business with you, it can be people you get on your email list. Are you able to tie the things that you're doing to one of those, to bringing people into your sales funnel? Because this is the real gist of it. There are no sales without marketing. Even if you're relying on referrals or word of mouth, that is still a type of marketing. So unless you put some concentrated effort behind some part of marketing, you won't have any sales. So I don't think that the choice to completely quit marketing, regardless of the economy, no matter what happens, if we have a recession, regardless, it's not a choice to stop marketing. This is just a chance, not a choice, a chance to be smarter about how we spend our dollars. So let's adjust the marketing. Don't go dark. Don't eliminate things. Let's make adjustments very wisely without disappearing. And in order to do that, we're going to need a different marketing approach that cuts out the fluff. That's what I'm here to help you with today. I'm going to ask these questions. So we already asked a series of questions up front that gives you some good data to base your decisions on. So you're going to create more resources for the platforms that are producing the best leads. If you're getting the best leads from your podcast, if you're getting the best leads from your social ads that you're running, whatever you've identified that thing to be, you're going to create more resources for that. So let's say it is a podcast. If you're getting good leads from that, maybe you consider doing an additional podcast every week. Maybe you're doing 1, you up it to 2. You could even shorten the length of those in order to get more out. Let's say a social ad is the best, getting you the best leads, people into your sales funnel. So you're going to consider increasing that. The amount that you put in that, you can consider doing a version for a slightly different audience. You're going to lean more into how can I optimize, make the very best that I can, the ad campaign that we're running. So that's what I mean by that. Also, just underneath that, create more resources in the type that is best performing. So as you're doing all of these things, if you're running social ads and some of them are video, like, face to camera, some of them are static, look at the data, see what performs the best, then create more of that type. If you are doing email and you're seeing a lot of people that are responding to your calls to action in your email, let's talk about, can we arrange the order of the sections of the things you're talking about in the email to boost that number even further? Can we find a way to get more people on our list, which would be a huge one? So maybe you partner with another person that does something similar to you, that you all share the same audience. You partner with them, you swap lead magnets, and you get more people onto your list because your emails that you send out are performing well. That's what I'm talking about. Identify what's working well and figure out how you can make it the best you possibly can and how you can expand it to new people. The next one, reduce or pause what isn't working. If you look at that data and you see my Instagram posts that I just put on my feed aren't really doing anything, then either reduce the number that you're doing per week or make it easier. Streamline that process, like have somebody, use templated images, have ChatGPT write all the captions, find a way to spend the least amount of man time on that as possible. You don't want to completely get off of the platform, because then it becomes a visibility thing, right? People are like, why did they suddenly drop and they're not posting at all? No, you could also say, okay, let's look. It's all about letting the data drive the decisions. If you look at the Instagram and you see, well, my reels are getting me somewhere, my static posts are not doing anything, then just commit to doing, 1 or 2 really good reels and putting those out there a couple of days a week. Like, find a way to scale back. Number 4, evaluate your vendors and your marketing tools. So this is always a good thing to look at on a regular basis, but especially when you sense that there may be a shift in the economy. Look at the vendors that you work with, which could be any agencies you work with. It could be freelancers. Make sure that you are getting the most value for the money that you are paying. Here's an example that's going to sound odd because I am a copywriter. All the things that you're having your copywriter do, could we change? So let's say you're having a copywriter write SEO keyword blog post to keep your site getting results, right? Perhaps someone on your team could have AI write that, and then the copywriter reviews it, because that's a thing that's like a lower return on investment. So you can have ChatGPT write that and someone who's a professional review it to make it sure it's in line, but then the professional is not spending as much time on it, so they're going to charge you less. That's the type of thing I'm talking about. You don't necessarily need to cut anyone out. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying, let's see if we're using them in the smartest way possible, and also using their expertise in the best way possible. Like for me, if you have me, writing something like that, a blog post, I have 20 years of experience, and a lot of that is in strategy. So that's probably you're not getting the most value of what I can do. I would be more helpful to you doing something higher level, helping you figure out some of this, right? So that's the vendor side. When it comes to the marketing tools, let's take a look at your marketing expenses, because all of the little things will dollar you to death, right? I mean, just thinking about this show, I have StreamYard. On the podcast side, there's like PodSqueeze and Podbean. And, there's so many of these monthly little charges that add up. If you're using Zoom, whatever it is, let's make sure we absolutely need those things, that we're using all of the capabilities of these tools, and that there's not something else that could do the job for cheaper. That's another way to tighten up. Here's number 5, consider new ways to connect with your audience. Are there new places that you could get in touch with them? For example, I have a client who has a local business. She just operates in her state. One of the great places that she can connect with her audience that's relatively cheap is going to local high-profile events. She has a high-end service. So she goes to some of these local events that have her type of high-end client in attendance, and she goes too. And she networks. That is a cheaper alternative for her than if it would be to run a bunch of ads right now. So think out of the box in terms of, it doesn't have to be absolutely on social. Think of new ways that you can meet your audience. And a lot of that, networking groups would be great. Going to some events, think about things like that where you can make new connections. And that leads into kind of new people. Where are there groups of your audience that you are not in contact with? And this is another one that it requires a little bit of out-of-the-box thinking. So it's best to do with someone else. If you have a business peer that you could just say, okay, this is my ideal audience, my target audience. This is who I'm trying to get at. Can you help me brainstorm some places that they might be? Some things that they like that could lead me to somewhere I could find them. Here's an example. So say your target is a homeowner, you have a lawn care service, and you want people that have let's see, just your average lawn. So you're looking at like a middle-class homeowner that owns their own home. So let's say that those people, right, you can go about all these usual places, like I'm going to run ads, I'm going to be on social, you could do some door-to-door stuff with door hangers, but you need to find another way to get to these people. Could you do something really innovative? Like instead of door hangers, let's hand out, coupons to somewhere in the community. Let's find a place that your type of homeowner likes to frequent. Do they also go to the movies? Do they also go to certain restaurants? Could you partner with those or just have somebody there that's like handing out something? Like, let's think of some really creative ideas to get a new block of customers for you. And it may be something that has nothing to do with what you have to offer. I'm trying to think. I target business owners. So what's another thing that they spend their time on that I could also get at them? Maybe they're also moms and I could approach them in a community of moms and find them. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to do with your business. And that's a way to get creative and to get new people, really low cost. And also, let's fine tune and get better at targeting. So if you are spending a lot of money on ads and you're trying to target a pretty wide net of people, let's get better at that. Let's find ways to target smaller groups of people with higher interest in what you have. The next one, how about repackaging your existing offers into smaller, more accessible, is more, more like they're more likely to pay for something that's in smaller chunks kind of deal. Is there a way that you can, if you have a 6-month or 12-month offer, is there a way that you can give them a trial for a lower cost, or a 3-month, something where they can get a taste of what you have to offer, but the initial cost is lower, so it helps to fight some of that hesitancy that they might have about making big purchases. And then the last one would be to promote payment plans. And that just helps someone who wants the thing that you've done a great job with your marketing, with your sales process. They desperately want what you have to offer, but they just need it to be in a way that is a safe investment for them. They're not shelling out a lot of money all at one time. So let's be flexible with our payment plans. Let's extend them a little further than we would if you usually offer 3 payment plans. Can you consider 4, that type of thing? And that really works best for high ticket offers. If you have a low ticket offer something, you could offer a coupon to get someone in the door. If I'm talking a price point of like $1,000 or less, and you can also emphasize your lower ticket things first. We're just trying to get someone to make a first purchase with you so that they can get to know you and your process. They see that it works, and then they want to invest more. So here's the recap for today. Marketing is absolutely, fundamentally necessary for the future of your business. If you don't market, your business is going to take a nosedive because you won't be having leads coming in. But when you're making these decisions about how do I cut back, let the data lead the way. Use the data that you have. And if you don't have enough data, start collecting it now. And then be open to changing your approach in this season. It doesn't have to be forever. And that makes it easier to commit to doing something new. Say, we're going to do this for the next 6 weeks, 3 months, and test and see how this performs. And if it's not, then we're going to scrap it and we're going to test something new. And so this is the end of April. I have 1 spot open next week for a Power Hour coaching session. If this is something that you want to just flush out, like what is going to be our short-term strategy for lowering costs and being more nimble so that no matter what goes on with the economy, the tariffs, our business will be safe. We'll be ready to make these changes to keep things rolling in. Happy to do that. That's the perfect thing for a 60-minute session. You can learn more and schedule those at bit.ly/Power Hour coaching. Have a wonderful day. Feel free to leave me any questions or send me a DM. I would be happy to do that.